Hi, I'm Flo Mottlik, CTO of Codeship. In this screencast, we're going to deploy a Node.js application from a Bitbucket repository to Modulus using Codeship. I've got a simple Node.js application called Codefish, which contains some Jasmine specs. If you want to follow along these setup steps on your computer, just fork the repository. We're going to deploy this application to Modulus using Codeship. Let's sign in to Codeship with Bitbucket. Codeship needs access to our Bitbucket repositories to be able to set them up. Let's allow access. We're back at Codeship. Now let's create our first project. The first step of our project setup is to select Bitbucket as our repository provider. In the list of my Bitbucket repositories, I search for my repo Codefish node and select it. Now, our repository is connected and we can set up our test commands. We select Node.js as our technology. This pre-populates the setup commands and the test commands for us. Codeship suggests Node.js 0.10.25, but I want to use the same Node version as on my computer. When I type Node-v in the terminal, I find out that I use Node 0.10.26. So I just copy my Node version into the nvm install and nvm use statements. Additionally to my Node modules, I need to install Jasmine Node globally to be able to run my Jasmine specs. I don't need npm test for my Jasmine specs, so I comment it out. Instead, I want to run Jasmine Node spec. Now let's finish our setup and go to the dashboard. To start our first build, we need to add a push hook to our Bitbucket repository. Let's copy the hook URL and follow the link to the service hook settings of our repository. We add a post hook, paste the hook URL, and save the hook. We can trigger a build for our application by pushing to our repository. Let's add the Codeship status image to the README file. Now, let's commit and push this change. This triggered a new build on Codeship. We can access the build details by clicking the arrow on the right. Here, we can follow the running build. By the way, if you ever need help, check out the Codeship documentation. If you encounter any problems, contact the Codeship crew by clicking on the support links in the top right or bottom right corner. A few seconds later, our build succeeded. Great. After a few initial preparation commands, Codeship ran the commands that we specified a few moments ago. We can inspect the output of a single command by clicking on it. So we can see that 2 Jasmine specs were run. We've already pushed to our repository, watched our build log, and got a green build. So we can finish this assistant. Now let's deploy our application to Modulus. We go to our project settings by clicking on the settings icon in the projects dropdown. And then to the deployment section. We want to deploy to Modulus. We need to fill in our Modulus API token and project name. To generate an API token, let's install the Modulus command line tool first. I sign in to Modulus with my GitHub account. Now I can generate an API token and insert it into my deployment configuration. We'll name the Modulus application Codefish. It will automatically be created if it doesn't exist yet. Now let's save our deployment configuration. From now on, Codeship will deploy our application to Modulus every time we push to our Bitbucket repository. We still need to tell Modulus how to run our application. In our package.json file, we add main start.js because this file will start our application's server. I commit and push this change, and immediately another build starts running on Codeship. Let's go back to our project overview. I will fast forward until the build is finished. After the commands we already know from our first build, our application also gets deployed to Modulus now. And about 2 minutes later, our application is online. In the deployment log, we can look up our application's URL. When we open codefish-11988.onmodulus.net now, our deployed application appears. If you ever need help, send us a support request using the link on the upper right corner, or send us a tweet to @Codeship. Take a look at all of our other screencasts and blog posts at blog.codeship.io. Ship long and prosper.